Coming up on Sbu TV, there are a few unfamiliar faces lurking around campus and how the sinking of a cruise liner has students altering their vacation plans. Hello and welcome to Sbu TV. I'm Megan Sudore.
And I'm Kate Glennon.
St. Bonaventure is known for its academics, Franciscan values, and its coyotes. Sbu TV's Brittany Whalley took a look.
With canine teeth, a reddish-brown complexion, these four-legged beasts have been heard howling around campus. A St. Bonaventure notice board was sent out Tuesday morning regarding sightings of coyotes on the athletic fields. Although these animals pose little risk to humans, Vito, Czyz, Director of Safety and Security, believes safety precautions should still remain in effect.
The safest thing to do is just make noise as you're walking through. Like any other animal, they could be aberrant and they can be dangerous under the wrong situation. So.
And remember,
dogs should remain on a leash at all times when coyotes are present.
Although the weather is unusual for January at this time of year, spotting coyotes on campus is not.
There's been others in the past, not the recent past, but typically you'll hear them, but you won't see them.
Coyotes are usually seen traveling in large packs, but they mainly hunt in pairs. So if you see one, most likely another is not far behind. For Sbu TV, I'm Brittany Whalley.
Anyone who spotted a coyote should contact Safety and Security immediately.
The recent sinking of a cruise liner off the Italian coast has left many questioning the safety of these massive ships. Megan Annis took a look at how the St. Bonaventure community is reacting to the incident.
With the seasons taking a turn for the worse in many parts of the country, a warm weather getaway on a cruise might seem like the great escape. However, in light of the recent accident involving the Costa Concordia off the shores of Italy, how will the sinking of this massive cruise ship affect people's opinions on booking their next vacation aboard one of these vessels?
With 16 already confirmed dead and 17 still missing, I took a look at how the St. Bonaventure community is reacting to the tragedy and whether or not it has changed their views about vacationing on the water.
Michael Goy, a senior at St. Bonaventure, says that despite the incident aboard the Concordia, he would not hesitate to vacation on a cruise liner in the future.
I mean, I feel like you're taking that risk no matter what you do. If you get on a plane or, you know what I mean, you're on the interstate and your tire blows, you could get a pile up. Granted, it's a very unfortunate event, but it wouldn't impair any future judgments of traveling.
Bonaventure senior Emily Young, who has been on several cruises, says there are many safety procedures that all passengers are required to be aware of.
You do about a half an hour procedure where you have to take your life vest out of your bunker and do everything and make sure that you go through all the safety procedures. And you know, it's typical. Everyone thinks that it's silly and frivolous, but in this case it really must have been beneficial because of the unfortunate situation.
Despite the safety procedures, sophomore Andrew Liuzzo is not convinced about the safety of vacationing aboard cruise ships.
After 9/11, a lot of people were afraid to fly for a long time. And I think it'll last. I think the less people will be going on cruises, at least for a short period of time.
For Sbu TV, I'm Megan Annis.
Despite the risk involved, nearly 6 million Americans went on a cruise last year.
How do college students spend their money? I checked out the numbers. College costs include tuition, housing, university fees, and textbooks. But the hidden costs are what students and parents should be worried about.
I waste a lot of money every week, and if my dad knew what I wasted it on, he wouldn't be very happy.
According to a study done by the University of Missouri, about $33 billion is spent on back-to-school items. They include electronics and computer-related equipment, clothes and accessories, housing decorations, school supplies, shoes, and collegiate branded gear. In addition, $29.4 billion is spent on non-essential items like snacks, drinks, alcohol, clothes, shoes, personal care items, movies, music, and video games.
So why are so many students spending money on unnecessary items?
A lot of peer pressure out there, by your friends to go out, eat, have a good time, a few drinks on the weekend, watch the football game.
You're only in college once, and I try to have the most fun I can, which means spending quite a bit of money on things I probably don't need to spend it on.
Whether a parent is helping to pay for some of these expenses or students dig money out of their own pockets, there are ways to save the green.
I buy stocks so I can hopefully make a little revenue off of them. It's important to be responsible with your money so you can plan ahead and save money for the future.
For Sbu TV, I'm Megan Sudore.
Another great money-saving trick is to set aside a little cash every week to put into a savings account.
As winter reaches its peak, many outdoor enthusiasts hit the slopes of nearby Holiday Valley to ski and snowboard. Sbu TV's Shannon Shepherd explored safety tips for first-time skiers.
With St. Bonaventure and its surrounding communities just a short drive from one of the East Coast's hottest resorts, skiing and snowboarding become popular sports. I visited the boardroom in Ellicottville to learn tips for those interested in trying skiing for the very first time.
Ski boots are not meant to be comfortable. They're meant to keep your foot tight in place. So smaller the better. You don't want the circulation to get cut off. You don't want your toes curled over like this, but you want it comfortably snug, no pressure points. Always be aware of your surroundings, who's behind you, who's in front of you, and trying to avoid going straight down the hill. Because if you do that, then the risk of falling is tenfold.
And what if you're curious about trading your 2 skis for 1 snowboard?
There are 2 ways that you can go down the hill on a snowboard, obviously. Your left foot forward or your right foot forward. Now, left foot forward is called regular, and right foot forward is called goofy. You want to make sure everything is adjusted properly. So that means your straps right here, same with this, same with your toe strap. You really want to make sure that you have a safety leash on snowboards, which is right here. It's a New York State law.
Well, having the right equipment is paramount. Timkey says that staying warm on the slopes is equally important.
Holiday Valley and Hollymont, they have some high-speed quads, which means you're going to get to the top of the hill faster, but it means you're going to pick up more wind and cold. You want to start out with stuff like this. We call it first layer. Now, this stuff just happens to be from Quicksilver. But it's like an Under Armour feel. It's gonna soak up your sweat and eliminate the moisture.
And slope style is important even down to your little piggies.
1 good pair of socks is all you need, seriously. Because when you put on more cotton socks, it makes your foot sweat more. It throws off the fit of your boot.
With safe equipment and layering techniques, any newbie is now ready to plow through the powder. For Sbu TV, I'm Shannon Shepherd.
The Holiday Valley Ski Resort is open 7 days a week and offers discount to St. Bonaventure students.
Did you know that the Quick Center for the Arts had a floor that has never been open to students? In December, the university decided to change that policy. Conor Mooney has more.
SBU's Quick Center for the Arts has finally answered students' requests.
The students asked for some additional meeting space, rehearsal space, creative space.
And they got it. In December, school officials opened the multi-purpose room on the 3rd floor for student use. The room, previously used for storage, now has plans which include group and club meetings, poetry slams, and art lessons. Acoustic panels have been installed for music classes, and there's even a graffiti board for students to express themselves.
It'll be a sort of a cultural, inspirational place where they can be inspired for their studies and also projects that they may be doing.
The space also provides areas for students to come and study during the week.
I used it a lot last year for finals with a few of my friends, and it was really quiet and you can get a lot of work done.
There isn't a name for the room yet, but
we came up first with the name A Place to Be, but there might be a better name, so if the students don't like that name, please give us another name.
The room will be open all week from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. with scheduled events throughout the day. For Sbu TV, I'm Conor Mooney.
The room will also be used for movie screenings, discussion groups, and mini performances.
Coming up on Sbu TV, one fast food franchise has delivery on the menu and tips to stay up in the gym when the weather gets you down.
Burger King has started delivery services to several franchises. Dan Mitchell took a look.
McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's have been known for convenience and quick service, but now Burger King has taken the term fast food to a new level. Between 11 a.m. and 10 p.m., customers can order their food for an additional $2. Burger King is testing out their delivery services in 10 locations in the Washington, D.C. area and 6 locations in Virginia. The company is already using delivery service overseas in Malaysia.
If Burger King finds their services successful to business, they plan on expanding their services to other locations across the region.
I think it's a really good idea that Burger King is going to start delivering. You know, it's cheap, it's really convenient for students.
Burger King says it has developed strategic packaging to ensure the food will not get soggy. John Fitzpatrick, the Chief Brand and Operations Officer for Burger King, guarantees the Whopper will be delivered hot and fresh and the French fries delivered hot and crispy. For Sbu TV, I'm Dan Mitchell.
Management of Burger King in Olean refused to be part of this story.
Have the cold months been affecting your workout schedule? Ricky Hoffend has some tips to keep in shape during the winter.
Many people believe that the wintertime has a negative effect on staying in shape.
Because it's nasty outside, you don't want to do a lot of activities out there, but it's not. Just come in here, grab a treadmill. It's all about motivation, really.
Both the St. Bonaventure Richter Center and the Olean YMCA offer great options to stay in shape.
We offer an indoor soccer league right now. We also have indoor basketball. We've got a lot of stuff like that for youth. And we do offer some stuff for the older members.
Sports are the only way to stay in shape during the winter season.
The cardio and the group exercise classes have just taken off. I mean, we've added extra classes. We don't have enough room in the room that we have now. It's like shoulder to shoulder, wall to wall.
Don't let the cold slow you down. Staying in shape for the winter doesn't go away, it just moves inside. This is Ricky Hoffend reporting for Sbu TV.
Both the YMCA and the Richter Center have an open door policy, meaning anyone is welcome.
Following reports of neglect at the Cattaraugus County SPCA, Sbu TV decided to do its own investigation.
Earlier this month, the Cattaraugus County SPCA faced allegations of unhealthy living conditions for their 90-some animals. SPCA President Kelly Chaffee says she's not surprised with the allegations.
Not surprised. Bottom line is we got a lot of things to do, saving animals.
It's obvious the dogs here at the SPCA are well loved, but the need for volunteers and donations is never ending.
They can actually help us with some of the committees that we've got going on. You know, we have adoption committees, public relations, PR. I always tell everybody, whatever your forte is. I have lots of people come in every day and I say, oh, do you want to sell tickets? Nope, I want to walk the dogs, or I want to brush the cats. And that's okay too, because our animals certainly need as much attention as we can give them.
For Sbu TV, I'm Kate Pelczynski.
SPCA will hold a fundraising event on January 29th at the Pulaski Club on North Union Street in Olean. For more information, call 372-8492.
Next in sports, national honors for one St. Bonaventure women's basketball player, and the men soar towards the top of the Atlantic 10.
So, son, what you do in school today?
Well, first I went to spelling, and then that was over. And then study hall, and then that was over. And then it was lunchtime, so I went to lunch. And then I ate it, and then lunchtime was
The less
over.
art
Then
kids
we had
get,
recess, and then that
the
was
more it
over,
shows.
And school was over, and now I'm here.
Are yours getting enough?
Sounds like yesterday.
Art. Ask for more.
For sports, I'm Tyler Diedrich. If a 19-2 record isn't good enough to get your attention, there's some more good news for the women's basketball team. Senior Jessica Jenkins has been named National Player of the Week by the United States Basketball Writers Association. The Ohio native set the Atlantic 10 record for most career three-pointers at 293, and she leads the Bonnies in scoring. Jenkins was already named A10 Player of the Week once this year, and she's now on an awards watch list that will be released mid-season. She's fifth in the conference in scoring. Jenkins and the Bonnies take on LaSalle tomorrow at 1 to try and improve to 20 wins on the season. The St. Bonaventure men's basketball team sprang into the spring, pun intended, with 2 wins to move toward the top of the Atlantic 10. It started last Saturday at home against Fordham. Daquan Cook was hot early. He scored 8 points in the first 6 minutes as the Bonnies jumped out to a big lead. Then later in the first half, Matthew Wright with the steal here. He's going to take it all the way himself to give the Bonnies a 21-9 lead. Later in the half, Jordan Gathers knocks down his first career 3, and the Bonnies lead 28-9. Then even more players getting into the act. Chris Johnson knocks down a 3 here, 33-11 Bonnies. Don't forget about the big man. Here's Andrew Nicholson muscling his way inside. He led the Bonnies with 19 points. Then Charlon Kloof hit a 3 to make it 41-17. And then back to Cook. He hits a jumper here just before the buzzer. He scored 12 in the first half, and the Bonnies led 49-18. It was one of those days for Fordham coach Tom Pecora, and the Bonnies didn't let off the gas in the second half. Demetrius Conger, the long pass ahead to Gathers for the slam here to make it 62-27. Gathers had a career-high 12. Then here's Eric Mosley hitting a 3 later in the half. And then the walk-ons got into the action. Olean native Zach Moore scored 4 points. And then Danny Farrell nails a 3 here. 95-51 Bonnies. Everyone in brown and white at the Riley Center loving it. It was the most lopsided conference win in school history. The Bonnies were back in action Wednesday night at Rhode Island. Bonnies looking for their first win at the Ryan Center in 10 years. Bonnies have had a tough time with Rhode Island recently. Andrew Nicholson gets going early. He knocks down a long jumper here to put the Bonnies up by 4. Then Demetrius Conger with the feed to Daquan Cook, who goes up for the slam and naturally gets the shooter's roll to make it 6-2. It was a close game early on, but Billy Barron got hot for the Rams. He hits a 3 to tie the game here. And then later, the drive, the scoop, and the finish, plus the foul, 3-point play, puts Rhode Island up 6. Later, Barron finds Andre Malone for a long 3. Rhode Island took a 7-point lead. And then it's Barron again for 3. He had 12 on the night. Rhode Island led 40-30 at the break. Bonnies started the second half strong, though. Here's Matthew Wright knocking down a 3 to cut the lead to 3. And then Charlon Kloof, the lob inside to Andrew Nicholson, who scores and converts the 3-point play. He had 16 on the night. Bonnies started the second half on an 11-0 run. Then later in the second half, Cook with the jumper here to put the Bonnies ahead 59-57. He led the team with 18. Tied again at 59, Matthew Wright with the floater puts the Bonnies up 61-59 with under 2 minutes to go. Rhode Island would tie it seconds later and send the game to overtime, but the Bonnies scored the last 7 in the extra session and held on to win 72-66. The Bonnies are now in a 5-way tie for first in the A-10 at 4-2. They're back home tomorrow night against Richmond at 7.
That's all this week for Sbu TV. I'm Kate Glennon.
I'm Megan Sudore.
And I'm Tyler Diedrich. From all of us here in the Coop Lab, thanks for watching.